This is Mike Wheeler, president of Hawkins Middle AV Club.
What are you doing?
Hello, this is Dustin Anderson, secretary and treasurer of Hawkins Middle AV Club. Do you eat kangaroos for breakfast?
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Through the Ham Radio podcast. I am your host, Ashley, and have another really good episode for you guys today. And today's episode will be about the Hawkins National Lab Control Room teaser, what I also like to refer to as the teaser of the teaser. Of course, I'm referring to the 11 Are You Listening teaser that was released back in May of earlier this year, 2021, also known as teaser number 002. And I know I'm a little late on this, but it never hurts to talk about it. It's never too late to talk about it. I mean, we don't have a release date as of now, but we know it's next year, 2022. So I got time. But yeah, I just again want to thank everyone for joining me today, and also for your patience, for allowing me to take the week off last week. Of course, many of you know, did not have a podcast episode last Friday, September 17th, because I was taking a little bit of time off. Had to get some other stuff caught up and completed, and I also was in preparation of the To Dumb event, which, by the way, I'd like to mention to everyone before we get into today's podcast episode. I would just like to remind everyone that this Friday, or tomorrow, at the time when this podcast is released, is the Netflix to Dumb event. It's the Netflix Global Fan event, and if you don't know what it is, though I think by now you probably do, but I'm just going to go ahead and let you know real quick what it is. The Dumb is a global Netflix Global Fan event. It will bring together our biggest stars and creators from around the world on one virtual stage to celebrate our fans and their favorite series and films. It will be a 3-hour virtual event, of course, on Saturday, September the 25th. For those of us in, I guess, here in the U.S., it starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I will be watching it at noon. 4 p.m. I guess that's like the central, like mountain time, I guess. And then 1 a.m. JST and KST. I guess that's global. I'm sorry. I apologize. I've never been outside the country, so I'm assuming that is for foreigners. Which I would not want to have to wait that long to watch it myself, but you know. Also, there will be special pre-shows spotlighting Korean and Indian series and films, along with fantastic anime content that will kick off at 5 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Eastern, so on and so forth on specific channels. You can, of course, go to todumb.com for more information on that. If you are into Korean and Indian series and films or anime. So this one more in depth of what to actually expect. It's a free virtual event that will include over 70 series, films, and specials for an exciting day of exclusive news, new trailers, celebrity appearances from a lot of series. And Enola Holmes 2 will be sharing something. Of course, I wasn't expecting any content so far on that. Probably just announcement that filming has begun. So here's the big one: how to watch. The event will be made available across Netflix YouTube channels worldwide in a number of different languages, as well as Twitter and Twitch. Here, they have a full list of localized YouTube streams where you can watch. Of course, Netflix, the main Netflix YouTubes for all languages. That's what I will be tuning into. And of course, they have uh, Netflix Brazil, Netflix Thailand, Netflix Asia, Netflix Greece, so on and so forth. And then they have a section on how to co-stream, which is basically if you're like a YouTuber, you can sign up to co-stream, talk about it as the event plays out live. Register for that. I will not be doing that mostly because I don't know how, and that's like 3 hours a long time. And as many of you know, I'm an only host of this show. I don't have time to do all that, and this is no offense to the other 70 series and films that will be uh, included in the event. I'm really only going to be tuning into this event for Stranger Things and Nola Holmes too, but mostly Stranger Things. And if it goes the way I think it will, they'll be going alphabetically, which means we'll have to wait probably towards the end of the event itself. So I will not be doing that. But however, if you would like to, you can sign up for it on the tadum.com website. So yeah, very very excited about it. Depending on what kind of content we receive from the event, hopefully on Monday, the following Monday, which I think is the 27th, I will hopefully have a special episode of the podcast celebrating whatever we got. Hopefully on Monday, if not, definitely next Friday. But I think we'll get something that's worth a podcast episode. They've really promoted this one this heavily, more so than the Geek Week. So I think we'll definitely get something. Okay, so I'm going to get into today's episode. And I just want to let you guys know, like I said earlier, I know I'm like 4 months late getting to this, but I think it's worth noting that this isn't really an analysis of the teaser itself, of the 11 Are You Listening teaser, or the Control Room teaser. This is basically analysis of the song in the background of the Hawkins National Lab teaser, and like the opera that song comes from, which is the famous French opera called Nina, or The Woman Crazed with Love. The song is titled When My Sweetheart Returns to Me, and has several hints and clues as to what we Stranger Things fans can expect in season 4, or at least for 11. That is, and perhaps a premiere date. Is that hinted at in here? I don't know. We're going to find out. And also, I looked this up. Oh, well, I didn't really look this up, but when I was researching details for the song, When My Sweetheart Returns, did you know? You probably didn't know this. I didn't know this. Is actually a flower. It's a long blooming daylily. That produces an abundance of blooms per stem. Yeah, I had no idea that it was a flower. So you learn something new every day, don't you? Okay. So first things first. I've just find it very interesting, that the footage of the bloodied objects in the Hawkins National Lab Control Room, TV, of that teaser, comes before teaser number 2. And I say that because you would expect number 2 to show that instead of it being like the other way around. Like, right? You would think that they would show us the before and then kind of the after. But I mean, I can understand why they didn't want to give too much away. But I think this is exactly what they were going for. It's like it's the upside down. I mean, it's all it's upside down. And that's kind of how I look at it, oddly enough. And just a little fun fact for you. This teaser to the teaser, as I like to call it, is 40 seconds longer than the actual teaser. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so in the opera portion, I'm just gonna give you. I'll just talk some basics about the opera. Uh, Nina. Just some of the major roles in this opera. Also, I think could be referred to kind of like we could kind of reference on in regards to the teaser. Obviously, Nina. She's the Count's daughter, having lost her mind some months beforehand. The Count, Nina's father, Georges, the Count's foster father, uh, Gurmayu. I hope I'm pronouncing these right, because I have never taken a French class. I'm not French, therefore I do not know French. So forgive me if I kind of butcher these names. I don't mean to. So anyway, he's Nina's sweetheart, believed dead. Okay, here's a kind of brief synopsis. By the way, I've got this from Wikipedia. It says Nina is in love with Gurmiu, but her father, the Count, favors another suitor. Gurmiu and his rival fight a duel. Nina believes that Gurmiu has been killed and goes mad, forgetting aspects of the traumatic event in a manner consistent with a diagnosis of psychogenic amnesia. More on that later. She only regains her reason when Gurmiu, her lover, her sweetheart, reappears unharmed, and her father finally allows him to marry her. Now, this, of course, has left a lot of Stranger Things fans, to conclude this is, obviously about Hopper and 11. And yeah, it very well could be, but it's like, which father, we're going to be talking about here? Is it Brenner or Hopper? Because the way I look at it, and I look at this in terms of, from a realistic point of view, is, Hopper's the one that, first wanted to keep 11 and Mike from seeing each other and stuff. And also, I mean, I don't really see 11 and Hopper as lovers. I see them as father-daughter. Love. The love of a father to his daughter and the love of a daughter to her father. I don't see them as lovers. And, we don't really know what's going on with Mike this season. Other than he's going to be, like, visiting her. But it's kind of like, could something happen to Mike, or could those federal agents that we saw in the sneak peek, may have told her, you know, Mike's dead or something. I mean, I don't know. But it's very, very interesting. I've researched a lot about this opera, and it's kind of hard to tell at sometimes. But I definitely don't think we should completely rule out anything to do with Mike, because we know 11 loves Mike. I mean, you know, um, so um, the song. Now I kind of got this idea from a Reddit that I saw by Hawkins AV Club Reddit subreddit. Um, if you're on Reddit, you should definitely go check them out. They have some really good stuff. Always up to date on their information. So I'm going to read to you the English translation of the song, and I'm going to break it down line by line. So here it goes. When the beloved returns near his languid friend, spring will then be reborn. The grass will always be a flower. But I look, but I watch. Alas, alas, the beloved does not return. The beloved does not return. Birds, you will sing much better when the tender voice of the beloved, you will paint its transports, its fires, because it's up to it to teach you. But I'm listening. But I'm listening. Alas, alas, the beloved does not sing. The beloved does not sing. Echo that I have bored 100 times of my regrets, of my sadness. Maybe he's coming back. His voice calls me with intoxication. Ah, he calls. Ah, he calls. Alas, alas. The beloved does not call me. The beloved does not call me. Alas, alas. Okay, so that is the song. Um and you know how I mentioned to you about the flower, and there's also a mention of spring in this as well. So that kind of alludes to um, the first part when it says that when the beloved returns near his languid friend, spring will then be reborn. It's kind of like a flower, um, and spring, because flowers bloom in spring. The grass will always be a flower. So, yeah, I mean that does kind of hint at a spring uh, premiere or release. Um, but I wanted to talk about something. But I'm listening. But I'm listening. And what in the teaser number 2? What does Dr. Brenner say in that 11? Are you listening? He's like, yeah. I mean, I just think it's really neat for them to like use all this. I mean, there's a lot of hints here um, about allusions to a release date, about 11's like maybe her mental state, not really a mental state, but like the state of her powers, her psyche. um, yeah, it's very beautiful. And if you haven't like actually heard the song, you should go hear it. It's very beautiful. And back to what I was talking about, the psychogenic amnesia. It's also known as dissociative amnesia. It's a memory disorder characterized by sudden episode memory loss. And the theory that surrounds this is that, the trauma that 11 has gone through, whether it be, dealing with Hopper, losing her powers, having to move wherever, and leave Mike, whom she loves, behind, and that's a lot, and everything she's been through, like, throughout her life. But it's like, I think when season 4, like those first 2, maybe 3 episodes, they're pretty quick in these episodes about getting it in and out. I think when we first see her, she's all good. Yeah, she's dealing with some struggles, as you would expect. But something happens along the way. I don't think she starts out with psychogenic amnesia. I think it develops. It's by some event. And based on the sneak peek, I think we can all kind of surmise what event that will be. I think it will be when she is apprehended by federal agents for whatever reason. Something happens. She experiences trauma from that event. Someone, maybe breaks the news about Hopper. I don't know. Maybe someone, again, says, hey, and she's going to be calling out for Mike. And Joyce is not there and stuff, presumably. She's going to be calling out for Mike, and they're going to say, well, he's dead or something. They're going to do something to try to play with her mind. And then, the trauma, and perhaps, maybe, if the rumors are correct, she gets a razor to her head again. They shave her head again. And that would have to be traumatic. And I mean, and so that kind of brings it on. So it's it's a possibility. They're all possibilities. But and how do you treat psychogenic amnesia? Well, there's truth serum or hypnosis. This has been tried in the past. And so it's like, maybe in the teaser number 2, what we see is actually maybe a flashback, perhaps brought on by she's under some hypnosis or something. Maybe they do give her a truth serum. It causes her, and then she gets her powers back, or gets her snap out of her amnesia. And this was just as I finish up here, a theory that I saw on the comments to the HNL control room teaser, and it's pretty lengthy. And I'm not really going to analyze this, but I'm just going to read it to you because it's very interesting. And this user says, quote, okay, here are a few things that I noticed. Although I'm not sure if all of them are obvious just yet, I still made a note of them. If anyone else has more insight into the different aspects of the notes, just leave a comment. Okay. And she says, Rainbow Room, Season 2 reference. Lights pulsating, exactly the same kind when 11 first opened the gate. Hawkins' lab has been reopened. In the Rainbow Room, there is a one-way window, just like in Season 1 when 11 was experiencing flashbacks. Blood everywhere looks similar to the kind of blood streaks the Demogorgon left behind in Season 1. Chessboard and chess pieces. The chess pieces are knocked over. It seems like 4 pawns scientists and 1 queen or king, she was not sure which one, Papa, are knocked over with blood. In the Rainbow Room, there is a set of double doors with no window but an exit sign. Bookshelf with 6 books. 8 ball. Callie. 8 balls are a sign of both good and bad luck. They represent chance. Magic 8 balls tell one's future. There is blood on the 8 ball. Callie gets hurt or killed. Cube pyramid of blood. Cube pyramids tend to have 624 blocks. It could represent a time pyramid, or the Giza pyramid. Less likely, I know. Pitch rises after the monitor screens return to pixels. Dice. Foreground 1 has a 6 and a 2. Background 1 has a 5 and a 4. Could represent 4 new siblings 11 is going to meet. Or it could add up to combinations. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 5 plus 4 plus 9. 6 plus 5 equals 11. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 2 plus 5 equals 7. 4 plus 6 equals 10. 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 equals 17, and other combinations. Different combinations could infer different numbers. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Jane. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Callie. And so on and so forth. There's also blood near the dice, but not on the dice. It could be saying that none of the numbers get hurt and die, but there are still injuries and death around them. 9 pulses could represent the number of episodes in the next season. The far right monitor in the center row did not flash anything, which could represent 11 not being able to work her powers at the end of Season 3. Maybe that is why the monitors are in the Rainbow Room. Did 11 willingly or unwillingly return to Hawkins' lab to get her powers back? And I incorrectly stated before I read that it was about the HNL control room teaser, but this was actually this user was referring to teaser number 2. But yeah, we kind of know now that 11 is not willingly returning to the lab or a lab, but I think along the way she will get her powers back, but maybe not because anyone's trying to help her. It just happens naturally. But yeah, I just wanted to read that very, very interesting theory to you guys about that. So I'm going to call it a day for this episode, but I hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, this Friday, September 25th, or tomorrow, by the time you're listening to this, the Tadum event. I'm super excited about it, and I hope you are as well. And again, I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll get something that's worthy of another podcast episode. I can talk about it, and looking forward to that. So, over and out.